Hi there, Cancer. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for October. The month begins with the Sun and also Mercury, the planet of communication, combined in the part of your scope that's to do with your senses. And your sensory appreciation is probably the highest of any zodiac sign because you tune into atmospheres really skillfully. You can be kind, you can be loving and supportive, and that part of your nature can certainly come to the fore this month. But Mercury is tracking backwards through to the 9th, and this may see some emotional thoughts spinning around your mind, and it is going to be important that you don't bottle things up, that you do share how you feel. But there is a potential catch in terms of communications, because Mars, the power planet, the planet of desires, is tracking its way through the sign of Virgo this month, along with Jupiter. In fact, from the 10th through to the 28th, they're going to be combining. Now, if you want a new car, or you're signing up for a course to expand your knowledge, or you have talents and skills you want to tell other people about, this particular aspect can bestow upon you a fantastic amount of enthusiasm. But just be a little bit aware that there may be the potential for almost to over-egg the pudding, to try too hard to impress people, or to say things that just subtly are not quite exactly correct from a factual viewpoint. This may not be a conscious thing. Someone may tell you something that they think is entirely true, but they could actually cause themselves to say something which is not right, is incorrect. At the worst end of the scale, Mars' opposition with Neptune in the first 2 weeks of this month points towards someone being downright dishonourable. So if you are buying or selling anything, then do stay very aware of what is actually being agreed. Check very carefully. It's going to be vital that you do. However, from the 9th for 2 weeks, the Sun is in an opposition with Uranus. Now, Uranus is a planet that's a little bit of a rebel, particularly in the sign of Aries, where it's been for the last 4 or 5 years. This opposition could see you having a little bit of a mini rebellion yourself if you feel that your work life is impinging too much on your home and family needs, or you don't feel stimulated enough in your professional interests. It just depends on your unique situation. But for a couple of weeks there could be some kind of heightened nervous energy, and you need to use it up somehow. Now, the combination between Mars and Jupiter is sensational once they get free of that opposition with Neptune. You may find yourself thinking about a new mode of transport this month, or travelling somewhere really spectacular, somewhere that really impacts on your senses in a huge way. If you've always wanted to learn something significant, like do a degree, that also could be something that you check out with a lot of verve and enthusiasm. However, Venus does move on the 9th, and it moves into the same location that Mars and Jupiter are located. And it's going to bring a more diplomatic and harmonising vibe to your personal communications. But it too clashes with Neptune in week 3. Someone could tell you something in that week which proves to be truly fantastical. It could be someone who really captures your imagination. You might think that they're absolute bee's knees, and they may turn out to be, but don't get too swept away, because Venus opposite Neptune can see people's dreams crushed so very easily. But then in week 4, Venus gets together with Jupiter, and your first impressions are going to be so important. And that's why those sensory foundations in your personality really need to guide your moves this month as best as possible. On the 24th, the Sun moves into a much more outgoing part of your scope. There is a full moon on the 27th, suggesting you could be spoilt for choice when it comes to a love option, particularly if you're single. But if you are chatting to someone, however intriguing, mysterious, fascinating they may be, just hold back a little bit until you know the true story, the full facts of what's behind this person. Because however much someone does have an impact on your senses, you still need to see over a period of time actually how they will be. And that goes beyond words. It gets really into the realm of knowing people in a down-to-earth, practical way. But if you're wanting to grow your knowledge, share ideas, go to see a movie, travel. This can be a sensational month. It can have some really big highs. Just avoid the lows by not necessarily believing everything you're told. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Good luck and goodbye for now.